Monday, 19th of February, 2024. In the Kupiansk direction, Ukrainian forces are successfully thwarting all of the advancing Russian units. Russian attempt to advance with 2nd Motorized Rifle Brigade did not go as planned, namely, because Ukrainian positions in that area are extremely comfortable for positional defense. Thus, the high ground allows Ukrainians to spot the enemy and direct the artillery fire immediately. To counter this, Russians resort to their known strategy of pouring additional manpower to overcome tactical difficulties. Following several failed assault attempts, there are signs of them transferring at least 3 additional units to the area north of Pishchain. They are likely to engage in another attack with that reinforced grouping in the near future. Another section with signs of activity is to the north of Sinkivka. Units of the 25th Russian Brigade continue their endless attacks trying to break through Ukrainian defenses and reach the Oskil River. As of now, Ukrainian soldiers do not let the enemy advance and hold their positions strong. Tuesday, 20th of February 2024. The Lyman bridgehead of Ukrainian forces remains one of the main targets for the Russian command. As expected, Russians are trying to squeeze the bridgehead by attacking Yampolivka and Terny. Ukrainian forces managed to stop the attack and forced the Russian 35th Brigade to halt. To give the 35th Brigade some support, Russian command decided to use their 4th Tank Brigade. Both are likely to soon renew their assault attempts. At the same time, in the area near Bilohorivka, Russians engage in straightforward combat with the goal of pushing Ukrainians back. There are no signs of Russians managing to achieve any success. Off the front line, the European Union extended the sanctions against Russia for the occupation of part of Ukraine for another year until February 2025. Additionally, Sweden announced a large military aid package to Ukraine worth over 600 million euros. Among the most crucial equipment, the package includes combat boats, underwater weapons, and the Robot 70 air defense systems. A wonderful present from the Swedish friends. Wednesday, 21st of February 2024. There was a massive surge in Russian activity in the area around Bakhmut. Their main targets are Chasiv Yar, Ivanivska, and Klishchivka villages. At the moment, the enemy is advancing with the forces of the 4th Motorized Brigade in the area around Ivanivska, as well as the 1307th Motor Rifle Regiment and 11th and 72nd Separate Motorized Rifle Brigades more to the south around Andriivka. As of now, the Russian grouping in the area is a truly considerable force. It consists of 18 separate motorized rifle brigades and a number of smaller-sized military units, making it slightly larger even than the Russian grouping around Avdiivka. There is a high chance that Bakhmut's direction will become the new main focus of the Russian command after the completion of the Avdiivka mission last week. Off the front line, Reuters reported that Iran has additionally deepened its military cooperation with Russia and sent around 400 powerful surface-to-surface ballistic missiles, many from the Fateh 110 family. These missiles are able to strike targets at large distances of up to 700 kilometers and will become a powerful weapon in the hands of Russian savages. It is reported that shipments began in early January, and so far, both dictatorships have declined to comment. Currently, there are no signs of these missiles being used on the front line, but soon that is very likely to change. The new axis of evil continues its struggle for world dominance. Thursday, 22nd of February, 2024. One long-term Russian expansion project that has been on hold for over 30 years is a region in Moldova called Transnistria. Since 1991, thousands of Russian soldiers have been occupying the region and denying Moldovan authorities any access, pretty much resorting to the same strategy of creating a separatist state as they did in Ukraine to legitimize their invasion. On February 28th, Transnistria is scheduled to have a vote to officially request to become a part of the Russian Federation. If you remember, it was exactly the point from which a full invasion of Ukraine started in 2022, when Putin accepted the Donetsk and Luhansk separatist republics' official request to join Russia. If this happens again, it will allow Putin to use available Transnistria forces to either open another frontline section against Ukraine or begin a new occupation war against Moldova. Right now, the Russian grouping in the region amounts to roughly 10,000 soldiers, with a number of old heavy equipment. Thus, they do not pose much threat to the Ukrainian army, however, may become a major test to Moldova, whose armed forces are in a devastating state. If Russia is to capture Moldova, Putin may use its population as the new mobilization resource, creating a serious new challenge for the Ukrainian command. Friday, 23rd of February, 2024. Ukrainian forces have taken down another strategically crucial A-50 aircraft of the Russian forces. The A-50 aircraft is a long-range radar detection and control aircraft that provides control of the air situation and operational tactical aviation. As of today, there is no production of them in Russia, and there are only 3 A-50s in full combat-ready state remaining. Earlier this year, Ukrainians have already blown up another one of these rare aircraft. A truly amazing news and a serious blow to the Russian military. Off the front line, both Biden and the EU announced hundreds of new sanctions against Russian officials and businesses. Many will apply to individuals involved with the imprisonment and murder of the Russian opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, as well as the Russian financial sector, the military-industrial complex, procurement networks, and companies in other countries that evade sanctions. Saturday, 24th of February, 2024. Another year of Ukrainian resiliency is coming to an end. This year marked a record in Russian loss of personnel with continued suicide attacks and indifference of Russian command towards the lives of their soldiers. The bravery of the Ukrainians allowed them to keep the front line stable and even achieve the establishment of several bridgeheads across the Dnipro River in the Kherson region, which continue to be a huge challenge for the Russian command. Sadly, this year was marked with losses too, most notably the city of Avdiivka, which has been the focus of Russian attacks for nearly half a year. With the brutality of warfare only increasing, Ukraine is in pressing need of additional support from the Western coalition. It is critical to not only maintain the supply of military equipment, but also drastically increase it. Hopefully, the United States will finally resort to common sense and begin to function as the coalition leader it is meant to be. Sunday, 25th of February, 2024. Following the second anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion, both European and Canadian partners announced additional aid to Ukraine. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated that the EU will provide the first tranche of 4.5 billion euros of unspecified aid in March as part of the EU's recently announced support package. Additionally, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba stated that the EU plans to deliver almost 170,000 rounds of artillery ammunition to Ukraine by the end of March. What's more, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni signed a 10-year security cooperation agreement, cementing the partnership between the two nations. Lastly, Zelensky and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also signed a similar 10-year agreement with Canada, allocating an additional $2.2 billion in financial and defense aid. A wonderful news for the start of another long and critical year, when the survival of the current global order stands on the line. In conclusion, during this week, Ukrainian forces have eliminated 6,100 personnel, 44 tanks, 209 APCs, 248 artillery systems, 13 MLRs, 221 UAVs of operational tactical level, and 10 anti-aircraft systems.